It's the last episode of this series of the Local Patch Project, and we've loved spending time exploring our local patch and enjoying the wildlife of Kenilworth. But today, we're filming in a very special wild place, our back garden. Gardens can be an absolutely wonderful space for wildlife, supporting a whole range of species, from the smallest invertebrates all the way up to large mammals. And during the lockdown, we know several people have seen species in their gardens for the first time. The RSPB was flooded with reports of people seeing greenfinches, bullfinches, and even buzzards in their gardens, which they'd never seen before. But it's important to remember that our wildlife is still in crisis, and we must do everything we can to make space for nature. But there's loads of ways we can do that in our gardens, such as making it a chemical-free zone, planting pollinator-friendly flowers, or providing a home for wildlife. You can also investigate what creatures are using your garden. One of my favourite garden wildlife activities is to look for grasshoppers. I've got my book, so let's hop to it. So I've been looking for grasshoppers in my garden for about 10 years now, and one of the things I really love is seeing all the different patterns on the different grasshoppers. So this one in particular that I've got here is interesting to me because I haven't seen one with patterns like this before. So most of the time we get ones that are quite reddish on the back, or we get some really pale yellow ones. But this one's really stripy, you can see the different patterns on it, which is really cool, I love that. I've looked in my book, this one is apparently a Rufous grasshopper, and you can tell because there's a little like diamond pointing inwards pattern on the neck, and that's really distinctive. And I see that on most of the grasshoppers in my garden, so I think we mostly have Rufous grasshoppers. I think this one is a brown field grasshopper. These ones tend to be a lot smaller, and they tend to have not quite a distinctive pattern. They tend to be like a general brownish colour. There also tends to be a lot of them around this particular area of the garden in particular, whereas the Rufous ones tend to be all over the place. So the brown field grasshoppers tend to stay around that sort of size, they're quite small, whereas the Rufous grasshoppers, they can range from being about this size to being much bigger. Sometimes I find grasshoppers like this Rufous, which has only one leg, and we think that might be to do with us mowing the lawn. We're talking about leaving a patch of the lawn to grow long to provide a safe space for our grasshoppers, and we encourage you to consider the same. Now, we know that a lot of people have been stuck in the same place for the last few months, and there are many who are still sheltering in place. Well, we recommend having a go at your own local wildlife adventures. We're going to try something that we've never done before, camping in our garden. And look at that, the tent is up. We've got lots of exciting things planned for this evening, including dinner made with vegetables from our garden, bat detecting, using the bat detector again, we're going to try and see if we can find any more in our garden, and then we're going to get out the telescope and try and do some stargazing. So we've had a bit of mixed success tonight. The bats were absolutely fantastic. We heard this amazing sound on the echo meter. It was a soprano pipistrelle. It must have flown quite close to our garden. We didn't see it because they're quite small, but the sound on the echo meter was so loud. It was brilliant. The stargazing, we think we need a bit more practice with a telescope, but we did do some long exposure photography as well, and that came out so great. It was really brilliant. Take a look at the photos we got. But that's it for this series. We've discovered so much about our local wildlife and really enjoyed the chance to explore our local patch. It's been great to connect with nature despite everything that's been going on. We hope that you've enjoyed coming on this journey with us and that we've inspired you to get out and explore your own local patch. But that's it for now. We look forward to seeing you again soon. Goodbye.